Welcome, everybody, to Pasadena and the majestic Rose Bowl, one of the unique settings in all of sport. This year's Rose Bowl, presented by Prudential, is a crucial part of the college football playoff. Today, we have a top 25 matchup on hand. Two of college football's premier teams preparing to battle against one another, as we'll see the number 11 team in the country, the Iowa State Cyclones, taking on the 17th ranked team, the Kansas State Wildcats. For EA Sports College Football, I'm Chris Fowler, joined here in the booth by Kirk Herbstreit. Kirk, let's get to the action on the field. Cyclones will kick this away to get us going. He's going to bring it out of the end zone from a couple yards deep. Tackled at the 12. The coach wishes he left that one in the end zone. So the Kansas State Wildcats offense in a tricky spot here thanks to that poor return. And there comes the star running back onto the field. He is a special talent. You talk to opponents, he's always the focal point when they face this offense.
Boy, Chris, this guy is special. It's almost like he floats across the field. I mean, I don't think anyone can take him down in the open field. He's the guy that teams try to key on, but sometimes it feels as though no one can contain him.
Now they run a draw play. They'll tackle him out across the 20. They need a yard here at third down to keep this opening drive going. They'll try to move the chains here on the ground. Brought down to the 23, good enough for a first down. The Wildcats come to the line to start a fresh set of downs. Looking for a gap, it's Giddens. They tackle him behind the line, a loss of 4. The loss sets up a second and long from the 20. Back goes in motion now. Let's see how the defense adjusts. Running out of time in the pocket. Tight end makes the grab. There's a loss after the completion. That's a good play by the defense. Well, a serious challenge for this offense. You don't want to be in third and long inside your own 20. How much of a risk will they take? Sacked. It's a loss back to the 6.
It just looked like the quarterback was holding on to the ball a bit too long that time, allowed the defense to be able to get the pressure, and they come up with a first sack of the game.
Wildcats will bring their punt team onto the field. The offense will have to punt for the first time this afternoon. And the ball is away from his own end zone. And here's the return. And the coverage team makes the stop on this return. So the Iowa State Cyclones offense gets their first crack now. And here we go, Kirk, this matchup on the edge that's going to go a long way to deciding this game. An elite wide receiver and a guy who doesn't believe anybody can beat him.
This is going to be like a boxing match where it's an all-out battle. Two extremely gifted athletes competing on every snap. Better get your popcorn ready.
Offense getting set. Second down play here. Takes the handoff on the counter play. Nowhere to run. No corralling for no gain. Third down play for this offense. Looking to pass. It's Becht. Lets it fly to the wideout. He's got it for a big gain. And a big gain before he goes out of bounds. The offense keeps churning, gets a fresh set of downs.
And you just continue to see the chemistry between these two. And they told us yesterday in our production meeting, they spent hours and hours of working and developing that chemistry and that rhythm by throwing together throughout those summer months. And, man, it's starting to really pay off. He's become his security blanket for the quarterback, and especially...
And the sophomore has got him for a sack.
Well, the defense would not be denied on this play. They come up with a sack. The quarterback really didn't have much of a chance at all. Lucky he just held on to the ball.
Second down now after the sack. And there's the handoff. Finding space at the 20. Ball carrier wrapped up and brought down. An important third down conversion coming here in the red zone. Quarterback in the shotgun here on third down. Makes a quick catch. Stopped short of the touchdown, but the offense is set up now first and goal. The Cyclones, they'll line up here on first down and goal. And they're trying to punch it in here. And now the defense able to bring him down. Here comes some more big bodies out for the defense. On second and goal, they hand it to him again. Fights his way into the end zone. Touchdown, Iowa State.
What an opening drive by this offense, and especially this running back. Every single time they gave him the ball, he's getting positive yards behind that big offensive line. And if I'm the defensive coordinator, you better make some adjustments and do it in a hurry. You got to get more guys committed to the line of scrimmage to stop this run game.
Well, they'll try to add to the lead now with the PAT. PAT makes it 7-0. Here's the kickoff team now, set to boot this one away. And here's the return from inside the 5. Not much on the return. They'll stop him at the 24. Good coverage. And the Wildcats offense back out on the field. The last drive, they came up empty, had to kick it away. Can they come up with something here? Fires it to the wideout. Grab down the middle. It's Cephas. They bring him down, but the sophomore quarterback shows what a cannon he has. Ball handed to the running back. They'll stop him behind the line for a loss of 1. Important second down play coming up. Goes backwards, losing 3 yards there. Offense been in reverse here. Now a long way to go to convert this third down. Motion by the back will make the defense adjust. Now in third and very long, looking to throw. Catch made on the left side. Big play in enemy territory all the way to the 41-yard line.
What a clutch play here by this offense to convert on third down. I know it's still early in this game, but the fact that they've dug themselves a hole to convert there and keep this drive alive, they got a new set of downs and a chance to dig into this lead.
The Wildcats come to the line in the hurry-up. They flip it to him on the jet sweep. And they'll stop him after a short gain. The offense will line up. Chance for a couple more plays before the end of the quarter. It's a draw play. Tackle after a solid gain. It's enough for a first down, and that should wrap up the first quarter of play. Well, Kirk, Iowa State has the lead here. Let's check out the stats now through the opening period. They've flipped into the field, ready now for the second period. Kansas State getting set for the 1st and 10 coming up. Scanning the field, it's Johnson. Looking to scramble it. And it's the senior getting home with the sack.
Chris, that's on the offensive line right there. They definitely have to be feeling responsible because it's almost like you didn't protect your little brother back there.
See if they can overcome the sack. Second and very long. And he drops back in the gun. Catch made on the out route. Finally out of bounds after a solid gain, but there is a flag on the field. So let's check this out.
Man, playing defensive back has got to be the toughest job out there right now in college football. You get isolated on islands against these freaky, talented receivers. It's hard enough to be able to stay up with them and try to make a play on the ball, and often you end up bumping them downfield when you get a call like this.
And a handoff as they run the counter play. Shows off the moves there, but ultimately not much of a gain. Now it's third and short from the 22. You expect this is 4-down territory. Let's see what they do on third down. And he's going to fling it deep, going for it all here. Intercepted in the end zone. And that's a solid return after the interception.
Hey, these guys have been giving up some plays. I mean, this offense looked pretty good. They're moving the ball, but they get them to third down. They get pressure on the quarterback. Quarterback panics, puts that ball into coverage, and this defense comes up with that big interception.
And the Iowa State offense takes the field now. They were able to punch it in the end zone last time, looking to do the same thing here to see if the defense can make adjustments. That run moves the ball to the 13-yard line.
Great job by the offensive line here, opening up some holes and giving the running back room to run on first down. Plays like this can open up the playbook for the play caller, allow him to make that defense think they're going to run, maybe play action, maybe throw the ball downfield.
Handoff to the back. That'll pick up the first down. He's brought down at the 21. A running play gives the offense a fresh set of downs. Dropping back. It's Becht. Looking for the wideout. And it's complete downfield. And the gain just good enough for a first down. A new set of downs after that completion. First down. Looking to throw the football. He makes the grab. Brought down, but not before he gets into enemy territory at the 49. It was a 1st and 10 play. Using the ground game here. Tailback has the handoff. The junior able to bring him down quickly. Second down after that run on the previous play. And now the handoff. Oh, look at the quick cut. And they finally stop him, but a decent gain that time. Crucial third down play coming up. Can he make it to the marker? That moves the football inside the 40, and it's another first down. The running play gives the offense a fresh set of downs. And the runner takes off to his right. Finding some room at the 25. Tackle made after a big gain. And the Cyclones are in the red zone. Running game is working. They'll stick with it on first down. Pickup is 5 yards, so it's second down and 5. Second down here, time for perhaps just one more play before the 2-minute warning. We've reached the 2-minute warning. We'll have to see if the offense can build on this lead before the break. Second down, we're going to throw it. Catch made in the end zone. Touchdown, Cyclones.
Well, what a job by the offensive coordinator going to that 5-wide receiver set, creating the one-on-one matchups, finding the most favorable matchup, and then going to that receiver for the score.
Now the try here for the extra point. The kick sails through, so the lead is 14-0. The kickoff team on the field now as they get set to send this one away. And he takes this from inside the 5. Stop at the 22. That's pretty solid coverage there. And the Kansas State offense is back out on the field. Time is running out before halftime to cut into this now 2-possession lead. Tries the right with a quick throw. And he pulls in the catch. That picks up a first down. They'll spot it at the 39.
That's a big first down for this offense, and it's not been a great day so far, but maybe this play can get them going. And keep this in mind, Chris, because they started the game with the possession, they will not get to start the second half on offense, so they need points right here.
Back to throw. It's Johnson. Receiver looks it in. It's complete. Brought down, but crosses midfield to the 46. And the Wildcats will come to the line to run the hurry up. First down, looking to throw the ball. Caught over the middle. It's Cephas.
Defenses all around the country got to do a better job of keeping an eye on these little guys from the slot. They can dismantle a defense with their speed and quickness in the open space.
From the pocket, delivers over the middle. He's tackled quickly, but the yardage is good enough for the first down. The Wildcats come to the line to start a fresh set of downs. He's moving out of the pocket. Quarterback looking to scramble. Slides down to avoid the tackle. And a timeout is called. Important stage late here in the second quarter. First and goal. A good chance to chip away at the lead before halftime. Quarterback drops back, probing the secondary. They've got him. Defense comes up with a sack. And the offense will call a timeout. That's their second of the half. It's second and goal now, back from the 14-yard line. Quarterback looking to connect with the receiver here. Makes the grab on the move. Touchdown, Kansas State. Strong game by this quarterback.
Love to watch his quarterback go out and execute in this kind of situation. He's doing a great job of ignoring the scoreboard and feeling a sense of pressure to have to play with more urgency. Right now, he's executing. We're only in the second quarter. Plenty of time to get back in this game.
Kicking team on now for the extra point. To make the extra point, cut the lead to 14-7. So after the touchdown, here's the kickoff, and we'll see if the opposing offense has time to answer before halftime. Return starts from inside the 5. And the coverage team able to bring him down. And the Cyclones offense is back out on the field now. Let's see how this offense plays this. They try to get some more points for the half or play it more conservatively. And it's incomplete. The defender arrived the same time as the football. And now it's second down. Quarterback operating an empty set. QB tries it again here on 2nd and 10. And this pass is caught. Moves the ball to the 25. Good enough for a first down. Tackle made, but the sophomore quarterback showing us the arm strength. To the air, it's Becht. That pass is caught. And he'll be brought down, and that will wrap up the first half of play. Minutes going to wrap up the first half here. Let's kick it now to Kevin Connors with our halftime update.
All right, thanks, guys. And through 2 quarters of ball, it looks like we're in for another fun one here today. And it's been said football is a game of inches. And guess what? Based on the comparison between third down conversion rate today and the average yard per play, how can you argue that? I mean, the low-lying fruit is to look at some of the explosive plays we've seen and panic. But really, this game is going to come down to which team is more efficient when they have the ball and how they play when it matters most.
And here comes the Iowa State offense back onto the field now.
For now, let's get back to the guys in the booth to start up this second half.
On 1st and 10, looking to throw. And that pass is hauled in over the middle. And he's brought down after a big first down gain. It's 2nd and short. Maybe an opportunity, Kirk, to take a shot here. Pre-snap motion from the receiver. Quick pass. Here comes a jet sweep. And he's tackled, but only after picking up the first down. The running play gives the offense a fresh set of downs. He'll hand it off. And tackled after a small pickup there. Second down after that run on the previous play. From the shotgun, drops back looking for an open man. Catch hauled in here over the middle. Brought down, but it's past the line to gain. The Cyclones pick up enough yardage for a fresh set of downs. The back's got it. He's brought down, but the gain moves the ball to the 39.
Well, these are the type of runs that begin to wear down your defense psychologically. Already have the lead, come out with a nice big gain, and this defense is thinking, oh no, here we go again. Really nice statement here to get this second half started.
That's an important first down on that running play. Takes the handoff again. Defense makes the stop after a 5-yard gain, so 2nd and 5. And here comes play number 6 on this drive. Here comes a handoff. That's a nice tackle there by the senior. One of those critical third down plays coming up. Looking to pick up the first down through the air. Caught quickly. Tackle made at the 26. Good enough for a first down. A new set of downs after that completion. On 1st and 10 here, looking to throw the ball. And he just throws the ball away there. Nobody open. Excellent coverage. Incomplete. Second down coming up. On the shotgun, it's a handoff. And they'll bring him down after just a short pickup. Now it's third and short from the 24. One of those line of scrimmage battles that could help decide this game. Dropping back, looking to throw for the first down. Here's a shot toward the end zone. Throws it too far over everyone's head and incomplete. The decision is not to go for it on fourth down. Here comes the field goal team. And the field goal is good. And they add to their lead.
I was watching this guy in pregame. He has got a strong leg. I'm surprised here he's able to put 3 points up here for the offense.
They come away with 3 points on the drive, and now the kickoff team will boot it away. Fields it just outside the goal line. And he stopped at the 19. Good job by the coverage team. Okay, the K-State offense is back out on the field now. Let's see if they can keep that passing game going. The last possession, very efficient and precise. Tackle behind the line. It's a loss of 2. After the first down loss, it's second and long from the 17. To throw, it's Johnson. Trying to create outside the pocket now. On the move, but can't find a receiver, and he's brought down.
That takes the wind right out of your sails. This offense is trying to find a way to get back into this game, and another pressure and a sack against their quarterback.
Third down. This offense could really use a conversion here, down multiple scores. There's the snap. Looking to throw the ball. Bringing pressure. And the protection breaks down yet again, another sack.
And just like that, you squeeze the life out of this offense. That's another sack by this defense. They have been in that backfield the entire game, and a big reason why these guys are enjoying a lead.
And the Wildcats bring their punt team onto the field. Going to kick it away for the second time. And he's able to get the boot away. He's got some daylight, turning on the speed. And the returner brought down by the coverage team. And the Iowa State offense takes the field now. Looking to build on this lead in this possession. Had to settle for 3 last time out. He gains 9, so it's second and 1. Offense operating from the pistol. Keeping it on the ground here. And the Cyclones pick up enough yardage to get a first down. The running play gives the offense a fresh set of downs. On first down, why not keep it on the ground? Picks up 3 yards, so second and 7. Quarterback sets up, looking for an open man. With the catch, it's Higgins. And he's brought down, but they went backwards after the completion. Good work by the defense. Drops back, looking to throw for it on third down. Lets it go quickly. And he's got it. Tackle made after a nice pickup on the play. The Cyclones will try to keep this drive moving. And the single back takes the handoff. And they finally bring him down at the 5. Offense really threatening now. Here comes a crucial second down play. Every yard tough to find down here in the red zone. And he runs it into the end zone. Touchdown, Iowa State.
I think we're starting to kind of see a theme here, Chris, today. That's his second touchdown. The offensive line doing their job, and he's doing an outstanding job of just reading the defense, finding the hole, and being able to pick up big yards and touchdowns.
Lining up to try the extra point. And the PAT puts them up 17 now. Now the kickoff team is out on the field. Fields it inside the 5-yard line. They'll be tackled at the 18. That's good coverage there. Offense out there for the first play of this drive from the 18. On the run, it's Giddens. And they'll tackle him about the 23-yard line. Offense coming to the line. They might have a chance for a couple more plays before we reach the end of the quarter. Play action fake, looking to throw. Fires it to the wideout. Easy throw to a wide-open receiver downfield. They finally stop him, but a big chunk play to wrap up the third period. Well, Kirk, Iowa State has the lead here. And they got to be feeling pretty good about things as we wrap up the third quarter. Let's review how we got here. Crucial play here to begin the quarter as the offense sets up 1st and goal. Out of the shotgun, he'll hand it off. And a decent gain there before the defense brings him down. That's a 2nd and goal play for the offense. Trying to get to the end zone. They'll run it left. Tackled way behind the line. He'll lose 6 there. They need a touchdown here. Down big in the 4th quarter. 3rd and goal. Back to pass. It's Johnson. The pocket breaking down. And he's brought down. Offense going backwards with the sack.
Man, how about the job by this defense? I mean, we really expected this offense to be able to come into this game, put up big yards and a lot of points. And here we are in the 4th quarter. Collectively, they don't even have 200 yards total offense, and they just seem to be out of sync. Give all the credit to the defensive coordinator and those defensive players and the way they're putting this pressure on this quarterback and this offense.
Drops back from the shotgun, looking for an open man. Quick throw to his receiver. The pass is intercepted. And he'll be taken down, but after a good return.
Boy, would this quarterback love to have this one back. They're trying to work themselves back into this game here in the 2nd half. And the defense comes up with a big turnover that could be the nail in the coffin.
And the Cyclones offense is back out on the field now. And the single back takes the handoff. And the senior able to make the stop after a short gain. 2nd down after that run on the previous play. Keep it on the ground to work the clock here. They'll stop him behind the line for a loss of 1. Offense will try to convert a 3rd and long from the 27. We'll see if the defense brings the blitz. Dropping back, they're going to throw for the 1st down. Looks to the left, and it's complete. The tackle's made, but not before he makes the 43-yard line. This drive is going now. Shotgun formation. Here's an inside give. Stopped short of the marker after just a short gain. 2nd down here. Time for one more play before the 2-minute warning. And that's the 2-minute warning. And this offense looking to run out the clock and secure an impressive win here today. There's the handoff. They stop him, but it's a 1st down. And the Cyclones come to the line to start a fresh set of downs. Keep it on the ground. There's the handoff.
Yeah, I like this call here late in the game like this with the lead. Nothing too fancy, just right up the middle. Trust that offensive line and this running back and just keep working that clock.
They're going to run it. They make the tackle, but the game moves the ball to the 28. Fresh set of downs for the offense. 1st down. Welcome, everybody, to Pasadena and the majestic Rose Bowl, one of the unique settings in all of sport. This year's Rose Bowl, presented by Prudential, is a crucial part of the college football playoff. We've got a really compelling contest here, a team that's earned a top 25 ranking, heading on the road for a serious test of their poise and their mettle, as we'll see the number 8 team in the country, the Clemson Tigers, taking on a squad from the SEC, the Vanderbilt Commodores. For EA Sports College Football, I'm Chris Fowler, here in the booth with Kirk Herbstreit. I think we've talked long enough, Kirk. Let's get this game going. And the Tigers will kick this away to start us off. He's going to return it from near the goal line. Tackled at the 22. Good job by the coverage team. So the Vanderbilt Commodores offense will get the first swing today. And here comes the tight end who's having such a great season. Kirk, you talk to opponents, and they always use the same phrase, matchup nightmare, this guy.
Well, what stands out to me with this guy is that's not very often, you're right, the defensive coordinators are most concerned about a tight end. But in this case, that is exactly what we're dealing with. This guy can hurt you in so many different ways.
Second down play coming up for this offense. Trying to find room. It's Alexander.
Cristiano, the spread era over the years has always grown offensively, but I've been always impressed with defenses that really build their defense to play in space, still have an ability to be sound.
And they chase him down outside the pocket for a sack.
This is exactly how you can slow down the momentum and a rhythm of an offense. You got to get some tackles for a loss and some sacks. This time, they come up with a sack by getting after that quarterback.
The Commodores will line up to boot it away. It's a rough drive for the offense. Punter comes on and boot it away. Bringing it back, it's Brown. Good effort by the return man. They get him down, but that's a solid gain on the return. So the Clemson Tigers offense takes the field. Our first chance to see them today. All right, Kirk, let's take a quick look at the impact players for today's game and how they're going to affect the outcome.
These are your leaders on the field and in the locker room. These are your go-to guys, not only when you need a play to be made, but also when you need somebody to rally your team.
Getting set. Here's second down. To throw, it's Klubnik. And he'll loft it to the end zone. And it's caught. Touchdown, Tigers.
Great job here by the play caller, going to that 5 wide receiver set. You put all these guys out in space and create one-on-one matchups. It's very tough on this defense to try to win all the matchups and give the quarterback credit for being able to find where he wanted to go to be able to come up with that touchdown.
And now the try here for the extra point. And the PAT makes it 7-0 to open scoring. Kickoff team on the field getting set now. They'll return it from inside the 5. And he stopped at the 20, trying to make something happen, but that's good coverage there. So here comes the Vandy offense back on the field now. They were held to a quick 3-and-out last time, looking to put together a positive drive here. They bring him down, but that's a solid gain on the play. First down here for this offense. Here's the snap. Quarterback drops back. Receiver makes the catch. They make the tackle, but that pass creates a solid gain. The completion makes it second and short. Here's the toss play. Runner heads outside.
Not your normal call in short yardage, but the toss works really well here. Big people out front being physical and pick up the first down.
And at first down, they go right back to him.
Well, another short game for this offense on the ground, and you got to give a lot of credit to the defense. They have really negated that aspect of this offense the entire first half and really making them one-dimensional. And if that doesn't change, I don't know how they get back into this game.
And the Commodores will hustle to the line to run the hurry-up offense. And looking to throw now on first down. And it's caught. And he breaks the tackle on the way to a solid gain there. That completion makes it second and medium. Looking downfield, it's Pavia.
Boy, a great slant by the receiver. What I love is the quarterback found the window that he wanted to make the accurate throw.
Commodore starting a new series here on 1st and 10. Here comes a throw from the red zone. Looking for 6. Oh, and it's batted down by the defense. Great play to deny a touchdown. So second down after the incompletion. Off the play fake, looking to throw the football. And he's going to fling it deep, going for it all here. Oh, and it's dropped. Nearly intercepted by an excellent defender. Don't see that very often. Looking to chuck it again. Launching one to the end zone. Oh, and it's batted down by the defense. Great play to deny a touchdown. So on 4th down, they will settle for a field goal attempt. He knocks this one right through.
Snap, the hold, the kick, everything there perfect to put 3 points up here for the offense.
After the field goal, the kicker out there again to boot it away. And here's the return from inside the 5. He'll be tackled at the 18. That's good coverage there. And the powerful Clemson offense is back out there. They reached the end zone the last time out, trying to do the same thing here. Trying to find some room. It's Maffa. And they'll tackle him about the 23-yard line. Second down after that run on the previous play. He'll hand it off. That's a strong stiff arm. They'll tackle him at the 27. Offense looking to convert on 3rd and short from the 27. Can they pick up the first on the ground? Tackle, but only after picking up a fresh set of downs. A solid run, good for first down yardage. Change of pace now, looking to throw the football. Oh, downfield catch made on the left side. Heads out of bounds after a solid gain, more than enough to pick up a first down.
Man, another big-time catch by a Clemson wide receiver. How long have you and I been saying that, it seems like, over the years? Going back to Sammy Watkins and DeAndre Hopkins and Mike Williams and Hunter Renfrow and T. Higgins, all those guys on to the NFL having great careers, and now watching these players today in that same Clemson uniform making those big plays.
Dropping back, it's Klubnik. That's going to be incomplete. A lot of contact. No flag. Brings up 3rd down. This is the 6th play on the drive. Drops back, needing a 3rd down completion here. And the completion made. Brought down at the 40. That'll be a first down. They bring him down, but the junior quarterback showing off the cannon. On 1st and 10, they'll look to throw it. With the catch, it's Maffa. They bring down the receiver, but that's a nice gain on that play. The completion makes it second down. Will hand it off. And they'll tackle him for a loss of 5 yards. Offense comes up to the line. They might have a chance for a couple more plays before the quarter expires. Defense makes the tackle as the final seconds of this first quarter run out. So Clemson has the lead here, Kirk, as we head to the quarter break. And at the end of the first quarter, let's check out the stats so far. Plenty of time for some plot twists here as we begin the second quarter. So we'll start the second quarter here with a field goal attempt as they line up. Kick is good. Gives the offense 3 points to show for that drive.
Boy, this guy had plenty of leg here, too. Chris, you remember the days when a kick from 50-plus was a major accomplishment? Now these guys knock these out like they're almost automatic.
So after coming away with 3 in that drive, the kickoff team is out. And he takes this from inside the 5. Stop at the 22. That's pretty solid coverage there. So the Vanderbilt offense heads back out onto the field. They settled for a field goal from the last possession. They're looking for the end zone, no doubt here. Receiver makes the grab. They make the tackle, but not before a solid gain on that pass. And completion makes it 2nd and short. And the ball is handed off out of the shotgun. Tackled at the 32. That's enough for a first down. A running play gives the offense a fresh set of downs. Looking to throw it on first down. He pulls in the catch. They bring him down, but he was fast enough to get that first down yardage. And the Commodores come to the line to set a fresh set of downs. Here comes a first down pass attempt. He pulls it in for a big gain. Not much after the catch, but it is good enough for a first down.
The defense spreads all over the field playing zone, trying to make this quarterback make a mistake by throwing it into coverage. But he finds the soft spot on the curl and picks up a first down.
The offense finally producing here. Sets up a 1st and 10. To the air, it's Pavia. And it's caught. They bring him down, but not before he gets inside the 30-yard line. Fresh set of downs for the offense after that first down completion. Looking to throw again. Looks over the middle, and that's complete. They stop the receiver, but that's a solid gain on that play. 6th play of the drive coming up. Quarterback wants to throw it on 2nd down. Grab near the sticks. It's Stowers. And he's brought down, but not before he gets first down yardage. A new set of downs after that completion. Makes the grab, a chance to score. Brought down at the 5 after the completion. Defense getting pushed back. So down here in the red zone, every yard tough to find. Here is a crucial play coming up. Looking for 6. He finds his man. Doesn't quite get in, but it sets up a 1st and goal for this offense. They'll try to run this one in. And he takes it in for the score. Touchdown, Vanderbilt.
Well, that's an example right there of what vision and patience and ability can do for a running back. He was on a mission to get into the end zone, and really, he made it look easy.
Here's the point after attempt. Knocks it right through. Kickoff team is on the field. Let's see if they give the returner a chance to bring this one back. And it comes out of the 25. No return attempted there. Okay, the Clemson offense heads back out onto the field. They were fortunate to get points on the last possession because of a long-range field goal. That's a solid gain. Moves the ball to the 29. The gain makes it 2nd and medium. Looking downfield, it's Klubnik. Throws to the tight end. He stopped him at the 49, but that'll be a first down. The Tigers hustle to the line to crank up the tempo.
Boy, they do a great job here on the play action. The linebackers were completely fooled. 2 or 3 steps up into the line of scrimmage, opened up a nice lane behind the backers, between the safeties, for the quarterback to make the read and a good throw downfield.
2nd down here, time for perhaps just one more play before the 2-minute warning. The clock has stopped. We've reached the 2-minute warning before halftime. Looking to pass here on 2nd down. Caught on the outside. It's Brown. And he heads out of bounds after gaining a few yards. Critical 3rd down play for this offense right here. Looking to pick up the first down through the air. Makes the catch downfield. They make the first down, brought down to the 31. A new set of downs after that completion. First down. Looking to throw the football. Physical defending. That one falls incomplete. Brings up second down. Here's the snap. Quarterback looking to throw. Makes the grab in the end zone. Touchdown, Clemson.
You put 5 wide receivers into a formation, that puts so much pressure on the defense. Do you have enough guys that can cover? Quarterback does such a good job of finding the weakness and exploiting it.
And now here comes the point after attempt. And after the extra point, it's a 17-10 lead. Getting set to kick the ball off now. Return starts from inside the 5. They'll be tackled at the 17. Strong job by the coverage team. So here comes the Commodores offense back on the field. If they want to cut into this lead before halftime, they have to work quickly now. Pressure is coming. And it's incomplete. Even on a first down throw, he was under some heavy pressure. So after the incompletion, it's second down. Scanning the field, it's Pavia. Makes a quick grab. Brought down to the 28, and it's good enough for a first down. They bring him down, but the veteran quarterback shows off that trademark arm strength. First down, looking to throw the ball. Grab down the middle. It's Stowers. And a timeout is called to talk strategy. Close game here as we approach halftime. Second down after that completion. From the shotgun, drops back. Receiver looks it in. It's complete. And the gain just good enough for a first down. Commodores come to the line to start a fresh set of downs. On first and 10, looking to throw. Misses the receiver, incomplete. What's the play call here on second down for this offense? Looking to throw it again. Grab behind the line. It's Alexander.
And they get some positive yards here, but just from sitting up here looking down, Chris, I kind of have a sense that they wanted a little bit more on that play.
And he'll drop back here on third down. He's running out of time here. Stop at the 43. This offense picks up another first down. The offense will quickly spend a timeout here after the play. First down and 10 now. Quarterback drops back from the shotgun, looking for a receiver. Quick catch over the middle. Receiver brought down after a short pitch and catch. Offense getting set up. Here's second down. There's the snap, and he's looking to throw. Trying to extend the play. The offense calls a timeout here. That's their third and final of the half. Ninth play of the drive coming up. This is a tough third and long. And the quarterback looking to make a play through the air. He's got an open man downfield, and it's caught. Oh, and he breaks free. It's a foot race. Tackle is made, but the gain sets the offense up. First and goal from the 9.
Boy, a huge play by this offense. A good throw, a nice, accurate throw. But I think it's the run after the catch that really impresses me. And early in this game, you got to think they're going to continue to go back to him until this defense shows that they can slow him down.
And he clocks it. Time for a field goal attempt here before the break. So on second down, they'll try out the field goal unit, trying to get 3 before halftime. Knocks that one right down the middle.
And that one, my gosh, I mean, it's almost too easy. Nice kick.
So here's the kickoff now. Offense settling for 3, tacking on a little bit of momentum before the halftime break. They're returning from inside the 10-yard line. And the returner is tackled as time expires here in the first half. And that will do it for the first half here. Kevin Connors now has our halftime update.
Thanks, fellas. The end of a very entertaining first 2 quarters of football. And we have to start this halftime breakdown by addressing the play of this elite wide receiver. This is clearly a young man who, once he's finished playing on Saturdays, he's going to be playing on Sundays. The kid has different gears. He has a knack for finding gaps in the defense. And I can't remember a college player with that kind of catch radius. And on that note, time to throw it back to our guys at the stadium.
And the Commodores will kick this away to begin the second half. He'll take the return and try to get some better field position. He'll be tackled at the 17. Strong job by the coverage team. And the powerful Clemson offense is back out there. And they get the second half started with a running play.
Well, the defense coordinator this week all week telling us about gap integrity, not giving this running back any creases at all. Really sound defense on that play.
Makes the grab. It's Brown. He's tackled quickly, but the yardage is good enough for the first down. A new set of downs after that completion. We call the counter run here. That run moves the ball across the 35. Now it's second down here. Dropping back, it's Klubnik. The pass rush closing in. He'll avoid the tackle there with a slide. This comes an offense moving quickly down the field. On 1st and 10 here, looking to throw the ball. It's caught downfield. They make the stop, but not before a solid gain that time. The guys up front lined up. It's first down. And the quarterback drops back looking for an open man. It's a short completion to the tight end. Defense makes the stop after the completion. Second down after that previous play. Offense looking to throw the ball. It's an out route. The catch made. He goes down right there, but it's enough for a fresh set of downs for this offense. And looking to throw now on first down. It's a short completion to the big tight end. He's brought down quickly as short gain gets them a few yards closer to the marker.
Boy, that's pretty good coverage here by this defense. Not much of a window to throw this ball into, but the quarterback's accuracy and the size of the tight end picks up a nice gain.
Offense getting set. It's second down. They'll keep it on the ground with the draw play. Defense stops him, but that's a solid gain. So now it's third and short from the plus 24. Could be 4-down territory. Interesting to see what the call is here. They'll try to run for the first down. Gain moves the ball to the 21 and a fresh set of downs. Clemson getting set with a 1st and 10 coming up. They'll run it here. And he's stopped after gaining 4 yards. So 2nd and 6. Defensive fans getting frustrated. Offense continues to march. Back to pass. It's Klubnik. He's got it, looking for the end zone. Football comes out. Offense with a crucial fumble recovery. So after taking a closer look, the officials are going to overturn that previous ruling on the field. They snap it. Quarterback looking to throw the ball. And he's got it. Touchdown, Tigers. That's another passing strike from this quarterback. He is having himself a tremendous ball game.
Boy, this guy just can't miss. Every single time he throws, it seems like he's coming up with another touchdown. The receivers are running good routes. He has enough time to throw. And, man, this poor defense, they might want to think about changing up coverage because right now it is not working.
But they'll try to add to the lead now with the PAT. And the kick is up and good. They tack on a point to their lead. Here's the kickoff team. Let's see if they give the returner opportunity to bring this back. Fields it just outside the goal line. And he stopped at the 19. Good job by the coverage team. Vanderbilt's offense heads back out onto the field now. Kept out of the end zone last time. Had to settle for a short field goal. Can they improve upon that here? Receiver makes the catch, and they get him down after the completion. Commodores will hustle to the line to run the hurry-up offense. Quarterback looking to throw it on second down. That one falls incomplete. Looking for a flag. Doesn't get it. Brings up third down. Urgency now for the offense. That hate to come up empty on this drive, down multiple scores. Third down, out of the shotgun. And that catch is hauled in. Tackled at the 32. That's enough for a first down. A new set of downs after that completion. Back to throw again. Caught near the sideline, but just a short gain. And he'll make his way out of bounds after gaining decent yardage.
Chris, I think you got to give all the credit to the wide receiver here. Man-to-man coverage on an out route. That is a tough ask. Good inside move on the stem to separate from the defender, and a great throw by the quarterback near the sideline.
They make the tackle, but that pass creates a solid gain. Offense looking to convert on third and short from the 42. Can they make the yardage or face a tricky fourth down decision? And the Commodores pick up enough yardage for a first down.
Well, that shows you the trust they have in their offensive line in this running game. To get to a third down, just trying to come up with a way to be able to keep this drive alive, keep hope alive that you can come back in this game. You rely on Old Reliable with that offensive line, and they come through for you.
It's incomplete. He was hit as he threw. Good pass rush there on first down. But a quick stop by the defense. Gain just 2, so it's 3rd and 8. Not going to be easy here. Backed up a long way to go for a first down. On third down, he drops to throw. Defense is coming after him. This throws it away, but takes a big hit in the process. Commodores will line up to punt it away. And he'll kick it away now for the second time. Punt lands at the 6, but heads into the end zone for a touchback. Okay, the Clemson offense heads back out onto the field. They scored a touchdown on the last possession. Let's see if this defense has been able to come up with some adjustments and stop them this time. They try the middle, but gain nothing on that play. The offense will line up. Chance for a couple more plays before the end of the quarter. They're gaining some breathing room now. Tackled at the 26. So Clemson has the lead here, Kirk, as we head to the quarter break. We've reached the end of 3. Time is running out to cut into the lead. Let's take a look at the game sets before we move on. We're set now for the 4th quarter. Who is going to make the crucial plays to take home this W? To throw, it's Klubnik. Lets it fly to the wideout. He's got it for a big gain. Tackle made to the 41. That's a nice gain, getting closer to midfield. And the Tigers looking to crank up the tempo a bit.
Well, the defense gets these guys to third down. They got a chance to get them off the field, and instead they give up the first down. So the clock will continue to move, and the defense is really at the mercy of this offense at this point.
Big gain across midfield all the way down to the 34-yard line.
I mean, Chris, look at this guy. I mean, you talk about having a great day throwing the football and leading his team to a nice, comfortable lead late in the game, and it continues. The coach is showing confidence of what he can do.
The Tigers pick up enough yardage to move the sticks. And he's brought down, but he does have enough for the first down. And the Tigers come to the line to start a fresh set of downs. Handoff to the back. They'll keep the clock moving. And he'll get the first down yardage before they finally bring it down.
Well, this offense just seems to get more confident as this football game is played out. They've got a nice lead. Here they are in the 4th quarter, just working that clock, possessing the football, and trying to get out of here with a nice, solid victory.
They can put the game away right here. It's 1st and goal. Here's the snap. Offense looking to throw the ball. And he'll get there. Touchdown, Clemson.
Well, if you're going to give it to him, he's going to take it. That's his 3rd touchdown today against this defense. Whether they play zone or they play man, he's finding ways to win matchups and get the ball to the end zone.
They'll try to add to the lead now with a PAT. Extra point up and good. They build the lead to 18 during the final quarter. Now they get set to kick it away.
31, Vanderbilt, 13.
Returner choosing to field this one. And he stopped at the 19. Good job by the coverage team. So here comes the Vandy offense back on the field now. They came up empty on the last possession, forced to punt it away. Can they begin to click now? Caught over the middle. It's Stowers. Breaks one tackle, gets brought down, but picks up some decent yardage. The offense going with the hurry up.
Hey, it's positive yards, right? That's never a bad thing. But let's face it, these guys got a long way to go in a short amount of time to do it. So let's get the ball downfield, and let's get out of bounds and try to preserve that clock.
Pass complete for a first down. The offense gets a fresh set of downs. Back to throw. It's Pavia. And a short pitch and catch to the tight end. That's a big gain before he goes out of bounds. It'll move the sticks, more than enough for a first down. So the ball placed right at midfield as the offense starts with a 1st and 10. Grab down the middle. It's Stowers. And look at the speed there. They finally bring him down, but it's a nice gain. And the Commodores come to the line to run the hurry up. On 1st and 10, they'll look to throw it. Receiver makes the grab.
I love what the defense is doing here. Sitting back, giving up some plays underneath, tackling these guys inbounds, and just keep that clock rolling.
Looking to throw yet again. Falls incomplete, broken up by the defender nicely that time. So the offense faces 3rd and short from the +26. Might be 4-down territory, but let's see what the call is here. And he finds his tight end for the catch. Not much after the catch, but it is good enough for a first down. And that's the 2-minute warning here. This offense desperate to cut into this lead and then try to get the football back. Looking to throw it on first down. Fires it to the wide out. And it's complete downfield. Brought down at the 5 after the catch. The offense really threatening now. Quarterback drops back from the shotgun. Running out of time in the pocket. Looking to the end zone. And it's caught. Touchdown, Commodores.
Man, I love this. Chris, I don't think they're going to have a chance to come all the way back. But here we are, under 2 minutes to go, and they continue to show some fight. And you know what? Who knows? Maybe you cover an onside kick and you get right back in it.
Extra point try coming now. And it's up and good. Formation would indicate they're going to try the onside kick here. And the hands team able to recover the football.
Boys, a great job by the hands team. Expecting the onside kick in position. They were dialed in and pounced on the football.
Just a small gain. Look at it, 2nd and 9. And now it's the defense that calls timeout here, trying to get organized and preserve as much clock as possible. And here's the handoff. He stopped just short of that first down marker, inches away from it. And now a timeout taken by the defense, trying to preserve as much clock as possible for their offense. Going to throw for it on 3rd and short. Caught near the sticks. It's Briningstool. Marked out of bounds, but it's another big game. This air attack, no problem moving the ball up and down the field today.
Well, he's been their go-to guy all game long. They needed a big play there on 3rd down. They go his way again, and it works out.
Defense with more pre-snap movement. Hudson getting set with a 1st and 10 now. Use the running game to chew on this clock now. Ball carrier brought down at the 4. Offense in great scoring position here. And now it's the defense that calls timeout here, trying to get organized and preserve as much clock as possible. And now the running back's got it again. Goes backwards, losing 3 yards there. So the job is simple here. Just take a knee, run out the clock, and begin the celebration. So the coach will decide to settle for 3 points here. Out comes the field goal unit. He was on target with his first try. This is a chip shot from 24 yards. And it sails right through the middle of the uprights. Solid kick. And that will extend their lead even further.
Well, they almost put a touchdown on the board, but instead they come away with 3 points.
After the clutch field goal, they'll kick it off here. The offense has a long way to go. Need a touchdown and not much time. And he'll bring it out from inside the 10. And the returner is brought down as the clock expires. That will wrap up this football game.